Good morning, sound check. Good morning, Delphine. Good morning, Renee. Quick sound check. Good, thank you, thank you. Good morning, everyone. It's Thursday, June 11th, 2026. New day, fresh start. All right, welcome to the Pitbull Traders Morning Game Plan. I'm your host, Manny. The purpose of this show is simple: live futures trading, real-time technical analysis, and actionable trade setups, all with the focus on building the real trading skills and the mindset designed to drive consistent profitability. Every morning we come in with the same goal: to build out the structure before the open so that we're operating in alignment with the day's dominant forces. Not guessing, not chasing. We're going to build out the plan. We're going to map it out. All right, team, let's get in alignment. Let's see what we're going to do today. We're going to start off as we do every morning. We're going to start off with our higher time frame. That would be the chart on the left. That is our 4-hour time frame. And let's build it out. All right. So yesterday, the market has been in a retracement from the rally that started on March 30th at the 63.53 low. You'll see that there's a couple of lines on my chart here, and I don't want to have too much on my chart, but the reason why I have them here, I think you guys will recognize that all these levels are going to matter as we frame out our narrative on a higher time frame. Okay, so coming into it, we've been having our retracement from the 76.32 quarter high, and we made currently our swing low is 72.47. Thus far, we've started this what seems to be like an ABC move down. So price came down, it made a low at 73.59, then it rallied up to, in a huge look above and fail, we made a high at 74.91, and since then it's been nothing but downward price action. Okay, so a few of the levels that we need to focus on here on the higher time frame is going to be this swing high at 7,200 from our prior distribution. If you recall, when we gapped up, we had a gap on April 16th. Price gapped, and it filled the gap, but it held it in a sideways distribution. Okay, if we had a volume profile chart up, we're going to see that this is probably a heavily traded area. And the reason why that matters is because we would expect price to, if in a fast decline, we're going to expect to see some sort of a reaction at this area. Furthermore, there are a couple of technical levels that align there. If this is indeed an ABC correction, the C would complete its measured move at 72.14. Okay, now price rarely moves exactly to a level and retraces, so we're just going to consider that a zone, 7,200 to 72.25. Okay, more importantly, the top of the distribution of the previous distribution after the gap up on April 17th, that high also comes in at 7,200. So you can see how we're starting to build out the alignment in that area. Okay. Moving forward, I would expect the 200 period moving average to start sloping up, and I would expect also to see that there's a 100-day moving average in here. Okay. Furthermore, we also have a 38% retracement. Now, what is that 38% retracement? That is a retracement from the 63.53 low to the 76.32 quarter high. That 38% retracement comes in at 71.50. Okay, so that area is starting to look like an area where we want to have our attention up for a potential bounce, and even more so a higher time frame, higher low. Okay, so moving into today, let's just clean up this chart now that we went through that, and let's look at just a bare bones chart so we can map out our levels. Okay, currently we're trading at 73.07. This previous swing low is 72.47. The swing high on the 4-hour chart comes in at 7,400. That's 100 points away. So there's not really much we can discern from this distribution. So we have the 7,400 high. We also need to monitor the prior swing low at 75.39. I'm sorry, excuse me, 73.59. So 73.50 becomes an area that we want to be paying attention to 7,400, and that's on the higher time frame because we could be trading up into that zone today. We've already traded as high as 73.38. Okay, and we'll frame out the low at 72.47. The ranges are wide, volatility is expanded, range has expanded, and that's beneficial for us as day traders because with these expanded risk, there's also more room for movement. So the opportunities on both sides. All right, team, let's get into the charts. Let's get into the 15-minute chart. I want to build out our most bullish scenario. Then we'll talk about our most bearish scenario. Following that, we will move into our beloved trap trades. All right. Starting off on our 15-minute chart on the left, we're going to map out the most bullish scenario. Okay. Thus far, a majority, 70%, I would say, of the overnight inventory have transacted above the settlement. Okay, that has paired off somewhat, but you can in the recent decline, but you can see that price was chopping it around and it was bumping its head up against 73.35 to 73.40, and it was unable to gain a following there. So we consolidated for about 4 hours, and now just recently it broke, resetting some of that overnight inventory. I don't believe that there is a discernible edge in the overnight inventory, so let's move forward. Okay, so coming into, we can see here that price just bounced on the decline. We made a low at 72.88. It held this prior distribution, these prior highs. Okay, after the breakout, it pulled back and then we moved higher. It just retested it and held. Okay, our most bullish argument has us opening up at 73.10. In that scenario, if we're going to flame it out, it's pretty simple, team, right? If price can open and show an open drive higher, bullish price action that takes us up to the overnight high at 73.38.75, and it closes above, shows acceptance. Because this upper distribution was so long, we spent so much time there, I would expect that area to hold. So perhaps we do pull back. Maybe it doesn't hold 73.38. Maybe it trades as low as 73.30, or perhaps it could, if we do get a move higher and it does come back down to 73.15, we can reassess. But pretty much that zone is going to be 73.35 to 73.40. Okay, so if we're rallying and price shows the acceptance above 73.35 to 73.40, and we have the closes, we show acceptance, and there's consolidation at the highs, we're going to start stalking long entries, right? We're going to look for entries into a long trade that get us up to yesterday's value area high at 73.67. So the most bullish scenario, price rallies, it breaks above the overnight high at 73.38.75. Any type of retracement into 73.35 to 73.40 that holds, we start to see price wick demonstrated and closes towards the high of those 5 and 15-minute candles, at that point, we're going to start stalking long entries for a retracement up to value area high at 73.67 quarter. If it's really bullish and there's a squeeze developing, we could get a move even to yesterday's high at 74.0475. Okay, so that maps out the most bullish argument. Let's talk about the most bearish argument. The most bearish scenario, which is a lot of what's been unfolding lately, which would show us a liquidation break just off the open. And we've already identified that this area here at 72.80 to 72.85, where it priced previously, consolidated above. It broke initially. Remember, let's just technical analysis 101, right? Price rallied to it. It was resistance. It pulled back. It became support. Okay. Now it just retested that same support band and it bounced again. So we have a fairly obvious reference on the small time frame in which to use. So if we get to 73.10 open and price breaks below, remember, we're going to be mindful for that bounce at the settlement. If that bounce at the settlement is unable to gain any type of a following, any type of a significant reaction to it, okay, the settlement being a 72.78. Now remember that these ranges are expanded, so our bands have to expand. We have to follow and deal with, we have to trade the market that's in front of us. And that bounce could lead us up to, from 72.78, it could be a 20-point bounce up to 72.95 to 7,300. So if that bounce gets us up to 72.95, 7,300, but ultimately fails and we start to sell off again, we're going to look for short entries in this zone for a liquidation break and a move, a resumption of the retracement, and for a move down to yesterday's low, which is also in alignment with value area low, down at 72.6175. Okay. That trade should come quick and fast. I mean, this entire move could happen in one candle, right? If you're using a tick chart, you may be able to capture it there. But you know, when the ES sells, it sells fast. So you have to be quick on the draw to capture the move. And if you don't get a good entry close to your exit, then just sit it out and wait. Another scenario will present itself. I mean, with this type of tape that we're seeing, there's 2 setups an hour, like grid setups. So just be patient. If you miss it, don't chase it. Sit back, be patient. Another one will materialize. Okay, so that maps out the most bullish argument. That maps out the most bearish argument. Let's talk about the bullish trap trade. Bullish trap trade has its opening 73.0750. Okay, really, we have a great reference here, right? So if we come up, if price trades above the overnight high, but ultimately fails to gain a following, it could perhaps even put on a higher high, but ultimately it just peters out. And the tell is going to be if we put in a lower high, and then if price starts to gain back below the overnight high at 73.3875, that signals to us that price is re-entering is going to be continuation. That look of the overnight range, searching for new buyers, has failed, and the sellers are active, the sellers are dominant, and we should expect a move down to our references at 72.85 to 72.75. Okay, so our first reaction should be 7,300, and perhaps maybe even we get down to 72.85. Perhaps we get down to 7,300, maybe even get a move down to 72.85. This same move can materialize, team, above yesterday's high. The ranges are expanded. We're in negative gamma. We have to stay alert, okay? But and this, I mean, this would be a 7,300 to 7,400 move, right? That would be an awesome, I mean, you capture that long, you're done for the day, right? Let's not overpress it. Let's not get greedy. But however, I just want to cover it in that, you know, we are still in a retracement on the higher time frame. And we saw this move happen on Tuesday where we tested above Monday's high and ultimately failed, right? Came right back into range. And then we saw the big liquidation break. All right, so those are a couple of ideas on the bullish trap trade. Let's talk about the bearish trap trade. Bearish trap trade would have us testing, opening 73.07, and then we get below the yesterday's low, 72.61. Price reclaims yesterday's low, and then that begins to act as support. If yesterday's low continues to act as support, then we're going to start looking for long entries with our risk marker being that local swing low for a move up to settlement, 72.78, and then 72.85, 7,300. Okay, those are a few different ways in which it could play out. We'll monitor the price action. We'll see where we are after the open. The third possible scenario is very similar in that we get down to the overnight low, it pushes down, and it's unable to gain a following. Maybe we do an inverted head and shoulders, but ultimately it just fails to extend. And we'll know that when we see it, right? Because we should get a big print. If it's really selling, then we shouldn't spend much time there. But if we ultimately reclaim the overnight low, oh God, I just erased all of it. Unbelievable. If we ultimately are unable to reclaim if we ultimately unable to make a new low, then we're going to start looking for the overnight low to reclaim and for a move back into the overnight range. Okay. Let me just redraw these scenarios so I can have my screenshot. All right, team. So that covers the most bullish argument. That covers the most bearish scenario. We also talked about the bullish trap trade as well as the bearish trap trade. Let's be mindful. Let's wait for price action to settle out. These ranges are huge. This market has been really good for day trading. Just be mindful of that. You know, you don't want to, you know, if you're typically going to execute 3 to 5 trades a day, you don't have to have those all within the first half hour. I think that there's a strong possibility that we see a squeeze today. All right, those are a few scenarios. That's how we're going to trade it. All right, let's wait while we're in this distribution, right? When we open here, be mindful that we are trading in the dead center of the overnight range, right? So there's plenty of forcing action that can happen before a directional move reveals itself. So let's be cautious here off the open, right? I want to see price prove it. I want to see extension. I want to see a break of these references that we've laid out. Okay, and those references again are 7,300 to 72.75. All right, let's be mindful of all those references. We also have this reference here. It's okay. This is 7,300, 72.85. As well as 72.95. Sorry, 72.85 to 7,300 with 72.95 in the center. I think the bull. If I had a lean, if I had a gun to my head, and I had to place a bet on what's going to happen today, I think that we will ultimately see some type of squeeze action, and also, the one of the contexts that we've been seeing is forced lower price action that results in a late in the day squeeze. Okay, and one of the reasons for that is that market makers, because we're in a negative gamma environment. So negative gamma environment, where we're going to see is larger daily prints, we're going to see extended ranges versus a positive gamma environment where we're going to see more compressed ranges. Okay, and the reason for that is simple. When we are in a negative gamma environment, market makers and dealers are selling into lows. They're extending price action in the direction that it's moving, while they neutralize those deltas. The same goes true for the upside. On higher moves, they're going with the trade. When we are in a positive gamma environment, they are selling the edges, so they're keeping the range compressed. One of the scenarios that we've been seeing lately is forced selling, right? So the market breaks, and that negative environment results in dealers having to square or hedge their positions, right? So they're selling, and right now the options on SPX are very skewed to the put side, okay? And what we've been seeing is those forced environments where price moves lower, but then ultimately those dealers have to hedge those positions because now they are essentially, they've sold all those puts, so they're short those puts. If the market moves lower, they're going to be on the hook for those premiums, right? So what do? They buy futures to neutralize or to stay hedged. Okay, so we see often lately forced selling in the morning session, and then followed later in the day, we've seen squeezes. Okay, that is not what we saw yesterday, and that's why I think it's a higher probability for today. I could be wrong again, but just something to be mindful of. We can't get we don't want to let our bias overtake us. I think we went over that pretty good. You guys saw me experience a tough day because of my bias. I was battling my bias. They ended up pretty good. We traded it well, but it was a tough one for me, for sure. All right, if you have any questions, now the time. I think we're doing excellent on time. We've gotten ahead of it all, feeling great about that. This market has been really well. Let me know if how your experience has been, and listen. If you haven't done well, that's fine. Let's talk about it. Give me a call. We can have a quick conversation about it. Let's make sure we get you on the right on the right page, so that in the future, look, these markets, volatility is expanding. We go through these periods often throughout the year. Okay, so if you're not doing well right now, make sure that you work on your weaknesses, shore those up, so that the next time these environments appear, you know what you want to work on. Earlier in the week, last week, I mentioned that I often can struggle with trading transitions and tapes, right? So when we're going from a bullish market to like a retracement, like what we've just seen, that can be a time where I have my largest drawdowns. And so I wanted to make sure, coming into this transition, I wanted to make sure that I worked on those weaknesses. And I'm pretty proud of what I have done, because I stayed flexible. I flipped with the hourly chart. So I went from buying dips to selling rips, pretty much as the charts dictated. And I made some improvements there. Little improvements. We try to get 1% better every day, and that goes a long way. All right, we're closing in on the open here. Let me know if you have any questions. The market blueprint has been posted. And let me have the opening print, which is very important. 7308 is our opening print today. Make sure you jot that down. All right, we're moving here, moving lower. We're coming down into 7,300 and we're testing below it as price looks to test the 72.85 to 72.95 band. Let's see what happens. Yeah, I agree with you, J Mark. Maybe we get down to the 77, 78s. I think that we could find a support somewhere in this band. We'll see what happens. And I also really like the continuation long setup today at setup number 3. That would be just slightly above the overnight high. We are now into testing setup number 1. I'm not interested in participating in that one as much. I just want to see how this plays out. No, it doesn't. But it's coming down into VWAP, and so is the Russell. So let's watch that there for a bounce. ES doesn't look like it's interested in stopping at 7,300. Let me make sure I have SPYGATE up too. SPYGATE I think is going to matter today. So I want to make sure that I have that on full blast. There it is. Need to bring SPYGATE into the fold today. Let's make sure that we're logged in there. All right, team, you know how SPYGATE works, right? We're listening for croaks. We're listening for knocks. That's a sell. That would be a buy. Not to be confused with my new favorite toy. I hope everyone here had a good evening. Let me know how your evening was. Mine was a bit tiring, but nonetheless, it was pretty exciting. Let me know how yours was. Love to hear about it. NQ does not look great. Yep, and it's bouncing pretty good here, though. Gosh, that NQ surely moves fast. It is pretty. Oh, wait. It is pretty amazing how quick NQ moves. I mean, you've got to have you really have to be fast. I have a lot of respect for NQ traders. I don't think, in my opinion, I do not believe NQ is for the novice. No. That's interesting. They didn't bounce very much, huh? Hey, heads up though. Look at the tick. How the tick is opening in extreme levels right here. Is that right? Yeah, the tick open. Oh no, I'm sorry. Bring that back. That's not true. The tick seems okay. It doesn't seem like it's anything too bad. All right, so we broke below the 7,300, bounce into that 73.85 band. So let's monitor it. I'm looking at a short here. Okay, I grabbed those. Dang it. Which account is this? 62. I want to see quick extension lower here for an 86 bid, 85.75 bid. I'm willing to peel it off. I'm just looking at a scalp in the extension because we had that liquidation break. focused on the delta here. All right, got the first target, team. Got the first target, plus 6 points on the first. I'm 81 quarter bid on the second. Scalp trade at the open, looking for the AM low on the failure of 7,300. Short leash on this one. I'm sliding to break even. I'm sliding to, sorry, I got 6 on the first, so I'm sliding to -3 from entry. I want to make sure I put some green into this. I want to make sure I make some green on this trade. Price is very, very jittery. It's very, very volatile. Take the quick hits, take the base hits, get in, get out. $73.83 thus far is our current low. So it looks like we're running into a little divergence in the delta here. Let's keep mindful as we watch these. Okay, they're coming in. I'm out. I'm done. I'm out. I took 2 points on the last one. I just don't like the way the delta flipped on me right there. So quick in, quick out, +6 on the first, +1 or 2 on the second. I think it's +1 on the second. Yep, +1. There is no need for me to overstay my welcome on a scalp. Okay, looks like they're absorbing that. That's for that same reason that got me out. It looks like they were seeing some absorption into that area. So that would be good. Let's see how it materializes. Nice. Good job, live action. Good job. Thank you. Thank you. Yep. Quick in, quick out. No need for me to overstay it. And if that was the low, then, then not the low, but I mean, a local swing low, a micro swing low. I can always reload from higher, right? But let's see what happens. We need to reclaim 7,300 now. That would be constructive for the upside argument. And now we also need to get past that low that just formed at 72.8275, and things are moving quickly here. So There's no reason why we can't just trade lower here in continuation, right? Everything is very bearish. I'm sorry, not very bearish, but price is moving lower with good momentum. Okay. Whoa, the news out. Sounds like we have some news here. I want to stand fast here now. Yep, we got a news spike. Why not grab a few micros? I grabbed a few micros there on the reclaim of 7,300. A few micros long. I think I have the average. It's 7,301. Okay. Let's see if I can switch this out. Oh, no, wrong chart. Hang on. I got some long. I have some micros long, just a handful. Taking 10 points on the first. 73.01. I'm looking for 73. I'm looking for 73.17. Actually, no, I'm looking for 73.21. Okay, that target is set. Let's see if I can get some follow through on this. All right, looks like price is holding up, slowing down right here at this upper distribution. Let's look at the chart. Let's look at, I'm going to go ahead and take one off at plus 10 points. Just monitoring it here. All right, it's moving higher. Delta's on my side. I've seen more blues than, oh, look how quick it flipped. This thing is Vol's bid right now. 73.0175, 1675. Would be that. Okay. Yeah. So thus far, it's trying to retake that swing high at 73.19 quarter, and it's been unable. I will not overstay my welcome on it. Plus 10 points on one. Plus 8 points on another one. We've got a little bit of loss of momentum here. Yep. Oh, nice pop. Poppage. Got news out. Heads up. I got that one off at 73.16 for plus 15 points. Looking for 73.21 for 20 points. So let me get the order back in there. I had like 3 of those left. I added some back, took some off. Just trying to trade these little micros here. While I get a feel for the tape today. Let me know if you have any questions, post them up. All right, here we go. Coming into that target, Boom, plus 20 points on that. Plus 20 points. Love to hear that cash register sound. Let me know if you got a winning trade so I can ring the register. Let me know. Thanks, Renee. Appreciate it. Yep. Having fun over here. Micros are kind of making fun. I still have a handful left. Not a handful. I still have a couple left. I have 3 left. Because I took some off. You guys saw again. I just want to go through it again. I took 10, 8. It came back in on me. It was like down by 3. I took some more off at like plus 3 points. And I added 2 back as we popped in. So just some dynamic execution, just trying to stay one with the order flow, trying to read the tape as I go along with that order flow, go along with that price action, try to stay locked in with it. We've got some Russian news coming through. The one thing that I will say is that trading the micros is a little less bountiful. Let me hear if you know what I mean. MNQ, easy money. I was thinking about that this morning, and I was thinking, God, maybe I should just start there, right? Start with MNQ, because I've traded it before. I'm sure I could trade it. I would have to get like a feel for it. And that thing moves. You could trade a handful of micros and be okay. Yeah. So what do you mean by that? It's like 2 to 3 MES. So what do you mean? Like trading one MNQ would be like the equivalent of trading 2 to 3. Okay. Yeah, I like that idea. That sounds pretty fun. You know what? I was thinking about it this morning while I was showering. I just got back from a workout, and I was like, I think I should start analyzing the NQ again, because I used to, for my personal work, I used to analyze them all. I used to analyze the Russell, the NQ, and the ES. Hang on, teams, because there's the MES is 50 supply. Okay. Let's see. I have a setup coming up here. There's a setup. I'm going to hold these here, but we have setup. I mentioned earlier today that I was really interested in setup number from the market blueprint. If you're not getting that, let me just start over again. Hey, if you're just joining us, I'm Manny Trends. Thank you for joining the stream. We're tracking the ES right now. We just took a long on the reclaim of 7,300. Now we're looking for the market blueprint setup number 3, which is a continuation long trade. And if you don't know what the market blueprint is, go to my X feed, check it out. Every day I put out high probability setups, high probability levels, as well as the execution clock. The execution clock is an excellent tool that gives us high probability timeframes in which the market might turn. All right, so now that we've got that done, let's see, did SPYGATE give us anything? Yeah, there was see how the algos were trading that news bomb? There were 2 buy programs for every one. There was 3 buy programs, and then there was a sell. Let's monitor that. All right, so we have setup number 4 setting up here. I love the continuation long setup. It's probably one of my favorite setups. I just want to go ahead and make sure that I secure the profit on this trade. But as I mentioned earlier in the prep, there is a possibility for a squeeze event today if we can get above and make them stick above the overnight high. So we'll see. I mean, I don't know. That's just my assessment. I'm one guy analyzing the tape. I'm not an economist. I'm just a simple trader. But I think that I think that it has an opportunity. I think I'm pretty confident in it. We're hitting some resistance here at that overnight high. I have my stop in at break even on that trade. Down at 73.13, which is my average is 73.13. My focus is now shifting to the continuation long setup. So what I'm looking for in the continuation long, okay? Let's talk about it. We covered it in the pre-market analysis, but let's just talk about it here. Now let's review, make sure that we're prepared. So what I'm looking for is a move that gets me above the overnight high. And I want that move to stick, okay? Looking for a pullback and then extension, all right? All right, looks like I got executed on a ATA long on the A4, 73.24. Sorry. Yep, and it's out right away. So that was a. Hang on, let me see. All right, so that trade went +3, +5, -4. So I netted 1 point on that trade. Here's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a pullback to the overnight high. I want acceptance above that level. I want price to consolidate. I want to make sure that buyers are active and that they make it stick for the move higher. Got another long of 73.17 on the ATA chart. Came really close to a stop here. Okay, that long I got a long here on the ATA on the left hand chart. Things are moving pretty quickly. Got 12 points in that one in the upper left hand chart. It looks like we're headed for the overnight high, so that's where my target is. Oh, got the target anyhow, guys. Got the target. So plus 15 points on that one. I was just about to move it, and it took me out at plus 15 points. So pretty happy about that. We're going to ring the register. All right, plus 15 points on the long. So that initial trade went, thank you, Delphine. Thank you. Thank you, guys. So you saw that trade initially went +5 on the first, then -4 on the second, so it netted 1 point. And then I added it back. I only went in with one contract. I wanted to add another one. It moved too fast. Before I saw it, I was up 5 or 6 points. I moved the target from 10 points to 15, but ultimately I really wanted to target the overnight high. I just didn't get it. So yeah, that's where we are. Let's just take a quick assessment of where things lie. Okay. Things are moving pretty quickly here, team. We've got to stay nimble here. We've got to be mindful of that risk, okay? Keep that risk forefront of your mind. If you don't feel comfortable about your setup, switch out to the micro contract. If you're already trading the micro contract, then switch, lower your size, widen your stop, give the trade room to breathe. If you're in a mindset that doesn't feel like you can't hold through a retracement, then hey, you know what? Take some time off. Wait till you're in the proper mindset to be able to execute. All right. Quick pullbacks here. So my next setup is going to be the continuation long. I'm really interested in that one. So that's the one I outlined earlier. A couple of scalps along the way. Thanks, Renee. Thanks. Appreciate it. We're moving higher here. Let's see if we can get some follow through above that overnight high. That would be nice. Oh, critters. This thing executed me long again. There we go. So I'm long the 8.4 at 73.25. I'm not in love with this trade right now. Yep. Let's just disable this for now. All right, so -4 on that one. -5 on that one. Back in that long again. Moving on up into target now. Lost some momentum. I lost a little momentum up there. -5 on the last. All right, I'm going to park it right now. Let's wait for the continuation long over the high. If it materializes, I don't know. This looks like it looks more like resistance right now than anything else. I mean, that's the way it's behaving, right? Ooh, I'm glad So I went in back with two. I took one off at break even, and then the last one I got -5. So, but I'm glad I took it. I just took it off and peeled it. No harm, no foul in that. Yeah, it looks like the resistance is now holding pretty well here. I'm out of those micros too at break even, a 73.13. Yeah, you know, all of that work, and then that did me like total like $450. Like, oh my god, it's too much work for that. Is there anything that I missed there that I'm not aware of? Oh, this is an 810 zone front. No. Ah, wait, what? Jesus. Hang tight. All right. I gotta disable this. I have to disable this. This thing's going haywire on me. Close it out. Hang tight, hang tight. Do not try this at home. I want to make sure this is disabled. This is disabled. I had another chart with another strategy enabled in the background, working with the new setup, and it executed me into a zone front 810 unwittingly. So I've got to go ahead and take that off. Be prudent. Let me see what's happening here. Everything's selling off pretty hard. Minus 12 points in that one right now. Minus 12. Uh-huh. Looks like they're gonna trade them lower. Do not try this at home. If it spikes down and recovers below that low, 72.96. That's definitely not going to be the low though. 72.97 quarter. I'm going to try to wiggle my way out of this. What's the MACD saying? Hang on. Yep. All right. I'm out. Did we get the spike below? Yep. All right. Let me go put the stop in. All right. Minus 16 on that one. Set 93, 92.50. They just keep coming in on them. Yep. All right, I'm out. That blows, guys. That blows. So what happened to me there was I had the strategy on this one, 810 zone front, and it executed in the same account, which is not what I wanted. It's unfortunate for me. You know, there's not much I can do about it now. Easy come, easy go. Ran my head right up into that resistance point. Let me see what the highs look like. Yeah, you know, that high looks good. That high looks good. So who knows? I mean, I think it's going to sniff out a low here, but I'll have to go. I'm going to go into stop loss protocol and then reassess. Right, 72, 73.03. Right. Yep. Man, I'm with working with Renee yesterday. We wanted to get a bigger chart up on the screen, and so I had this ATA here enabled into the same account that this one was, and it executed me there. So that was unfortunate, man. All right, quick break from me. I'll be right back. Let me take a quick break, regain my bearings. Yeah, that was unfortunate, man. It came in on me so quickly. I couldn't even have a chance to react. Yeah. I doubt I'll be doing much more in here today after that shiner. I'd rather wait for the afternoon to see if something materializes for me. Especially with the rejection up there from that level. See if we can get either setup number 4 or setup number 6. But my read was wrong on the squeeze. The squeeze is probably coming later in the day. Or not at all. I mean, we couldn't take the overnight high. So that's a big tell, because that's the level that we needed for it to squeeze. So, all right. Let's see, 72.53 would be next, or if we get above. See, I was trying to trade that the reclaim on setup number 1. I thought that level would reclaim. I thought we had it pretty good. We had a couple of closes above it, and we had these closes above in this area, and I thought we had the acceptance that we needed to move higher. But they were just the sell with unrelenting. They just smacked them down. So that's it. Yeah. It's a long day though. Luckily, the losses are better when they happen in the morning because you have at least, you can always claw your way back, or at least you try. At least, that's the hope anyhow. but definitely need to clear my head right now and make sure that what I don't want to do is I want to make sure I get a clear read and that I react well so that I don't dig a deeper hole. It's not really a hole. It's just a drawdown. And like, yeah, so see, we had these long prints. It showed acceptance. I mean, the only problem with that was just holding on to it too long and leaving the ATA on when I was expecting, when I wasn't expecting, for it to. Once I saw the mistake, I should have just clicked close. Yeah. I mean, I thought I had. Yeah. In hindsight, I could have said, all right, I should have waited for the long over. But I saw the way we came up into that area, and my thinking was, all right, I know I had support at 7,300, and we were like 25 above it, right? So I'm thinking to myself, all right, well, we got reclaim, we're showing acceptance. I'll on this account, I'll take the ATA long, and then I'll also point and click the continuation long once I get above there. It's all right. And I don't feel terribly about it. I don't think I'll need to like go into an extended like break here. I think I'll be okay. It's always so stop loss protocol for me is just about like literally like how I feel, right? So if I'm disappointed in myself or something of that nature, then I'll step away. But I don't think I don't have the need to right now. I'm good with it. That's just the result of an edge that failed, right? Of an edge that didn't work. And that's part of this business. If you don't understand that, then it's always gonna be a long day. But I'm cool. No need for a break. I'm all right. I'll get back in this puppy. See, it's not about how you start; it's about how you finish. We'll get back in. We'll cut it. We'll slay it again. Watch this continuation long. I'm gonna put on like 100 contracts. No, I'm just kidding. Look, it's ripping now, right? it just waited. Like, come on, you couldn't just do this earlier. You couldn't just. Come on, jeez, Louise, pumpkin breezy. It's always something. It's always something with this shit. Excuse my French. It's always something with this crap. You might drive yourself nuts thinking about it too much. Now it's gonna go, and I can't trade it now. Like that would be like an emotional reaction. I just rather wait. I don't want to behave in that manner. I've got to get to my maybe what I'll do is I'll trade my Pitbull accounts now. I haven't traded those in a couple of days. If you don't like your position, just wait longer. Yeah, there's a good tactic. Just if you don't like your position, go fishing. See what it looks like when you get back. Yeah, well, you come back and you feel, but listen, you know, hey, let's talk about that, right? That's why prop firms are so great, right? It's a, you know, it's not like you're leaving it on in your personal retirement account, right? That's why they're so stringent about their rules, right? They want you to, you know, they want you to be in it for the long haul, and I understand that. I get it. Big tarpon fishing around here. Yes, there was. I heard it and I ignored it. Good catch, easy sniper. You can see it up here. All right, let's just review that, right? That's important to go over. So we were up here. That was about 10:05. I heard it. And you can see right here. So this was at 10 o'clock. You can see 3 programs went off at 10 o'clock. Good catch, easy sniper. I mean, E-mini sniper. Good catch. E-sniper. E-snipes. That's cool. Very cool name. I like it. E-mini sniper, where are you from? Where are you joining us from? If you don't mind me asking. E-mini snipes. What's up, Nish? Hey, I flagged your email. Okay, I will reply to you. It's either gonna, hang tight. So it's either gonna be like, I'm thinking of 1:30. I'll let you know an hour before. I might have to do something with my kid during lunch, and I'll know at about 11:30. And then if not, then I'd like to get it done 1:30. If not, then we'll shoot for 4:30. All right, so price pulling back now. Let's see. It came off that resistance, right? It was unable to. Now we're looking at a lower high. Whoa. I don't want anything executed right now. I don't want anything executed right now. I just want to chill. Welcome to the pit, Nish. Love it. Yep. Thanks for joining us, man. All right, team. So look, here's what we have, right? What are we working with here? We have a support at 72.85 to 72. Let me just see. Where was this? Hang tight. I like to think there's swing charts for this type of stuff. So let me just look at it here. I want to look at a 60-minute. Just want to make sure we frame this right. Like I said, I'm still sticking to that thesis that we're moving higher, but big shake off. We need to get over this. We need to get up into this tail of this 15-minute right now. Or you know what? Hey, time out, guys. Hey, we might be, so what we did, what's always the last scenario, right? That tends to be really low on everyone's radar is the inside day, right? So far, we've been unable to tag the overnight high. Where's the VIX? VIX is 21, man. I have a hard time believing that this is going to be our range for the day. However, let's consider it, right? Let's just be objective. So what if we were just coming into and we didn't have any awareness of the VIX? Thus far, our entire range for the day, for regular trading hours, has been what? Let's see. $72.83, 52-point range, which is relatively compressed compared to what we've been seeing, right? The overnight range was 106 points. So, and then thus far, we've had on the 15-minute, we've had 3 bars that have essentially gone nowhere. So is this a consolidation before a move higher, or is this a consolidation before a move lower? I mean, crystal ball, pull it out. I don't know. What I do know is that we need to break out of this range. So if we break below 72.85 to 72.80 with some acceptance. Then we start looking short. I don't want to initiate until we get out, at least until we get a little bit up out of this range. Yeah. A lot of opportunity early this morning before the cash open. Yeah, I didn't trade at all today before I usually do, but I didn't. Let's see if we can look. You know what we could do too? Hey, here's a creative thought. What we can also do is, let me see. Hang on. Let me just see what that looks like there. First off, the first thing we want to do is see how this range from like 72.80, 90 to 70 to 73.20. Let's see what happens when we test. If we test now down to 73.90 again, see what happens, right? But we can also, here's something that's pretty creative, right? We can also treat both of these levels as trap trades, right? So if we look below and then reclaim it, maybe we get a move higher, or if we look above, come back in and trade lower. And this way, you know, we're operating, we're trading with the trap, not getting trapped in the center. Yeah. Let's wait. Let's let it pan out. Yes, correct, David. We are in that window now, carving it out. So that's why I like this scenario right here, the look below and fail of like 72.85. We go in, maybe we do, you know, this will look like, this is right now, it's looking like a triple bottom. It looks very trappy. And the way this, you know, the way that there's, I'm watching the order flow, it's pretty thin. The depth of book is pretty thin right now. So that's why I think we're seeing such jittery price action. Live actions, I'm trapped in an NG short on EIA report beating estimate. Oh man, sorry to hear that, but I haven't looked at nat gas since the first time I looked at it. This thing's very whippy. So let's see if we can carve out. Let's trade. We can try to trade the long. I mean, it's tough, right? Because we're going into a time-based low pivot. In a downtrend, so always tough. You know, in those scenarios, you want to be short the high extreme into that low. See what happens if we get up there, test higher again. Like if we can get up and test into the 73, you know, 10 to 15 area. Gain some acceptance above there, but right now you can see they're trying to push it lower, and this could be fuel to, you know, for the upside, or this, you know, this thing could break right now 50-60 points in two candles, in two 15-minute prints. That's the type of tape we have. Let's just watch it. And if you have a position on, I think you want to, obviously be mindful of these two edges, right? 72.85 to 72.90 to 73.20 to 73.25, right? Play those ranges, use those ranges, and depending on your position, whether you're short or long, just try to manage it the best way you can until this range breaks. If you're short, tighten up. If you're long, tighten up. And here I was thinking, and here the day started off so well. It started off so good. But that's all right, though. That's all right, team. It's not how you start, it's how you end. And I'm a winner on most days. All right, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Up into a high. Let's see. Let's see. Hey, that was some pretty good absorption into those lows, right? Let's see if bears smack it down again. Let's see if they put the kibosh on it. Let's see if they plunge it back into the toilet. I mean, hey, also here's another thing to be mindful of. If whichever way this thing breaks, it's going to break pretty good. I think that's what I'm going to wait for. That's because there's going to be a good trade on the opposite side of this, on the opposite side of this range. And I have a hard time believing that with a VIX at 21, that we're going to, form a complete distribution, like where we go like this all day, and this is our range. Oh wait, that's terrible. Let me just try to redo that. Where you have a distribution like this, but ultimately the tops, you form it like that. Like I don't think where this is the fat part. I don't think that's going to be the case today. And if I'm wrong about that, and that is the case, I'm not trading the middle. So I didn't lose anything. Just keep it safe. There are just way too many. There's so just like a game theory tactical read. Here, I'll show you guys. Let me show you something. Hang on. Let me pull it up while we have time, because I'm not doing it. If you're in your trade, manage your trade, okay? I don't have anything on. If I did, I'd be managing it, but here, I want to show you something here. This is what so you all gain some insight. I mean, I think we're all in agreement that market makers are usually the house, right? And in terms of like gambling, let's use Vegas metaphors. Market makers are the house. And what do we know about the house? That the house usually wins. So when the profile looks like this, I mean, and this is just 0 DTE for today. It's everybody's betting to the downside. And what do we know about everybody? So the house always wins, and we know that everybody's typically wrong. Sorry to say it, but that's just a fact, right? When everyone's leaning one way, they're typically wrong. And so when you have a profile like that, you have to be tactical about it. You have to start thinking, hey, where else could, what else, where's the play here? Are we going to extend lower? And we could, but I think that's the outlier event. Let me give you another read here. Let me give you another profile so you can see that and these are like net expirations, right? Look at this. I mean, this book is so skewed to the downside. That's nuts. Hang tight. Let's be patient. I'm more just coaching myself, team. Nobody likes to take a 5 and whatever that was shiner. And I'll be honest, it's probably like 18 points I lost on that. I'm not going to look at it right now. I don't need to know that. I know I'm not broke. I know I can still trade that account. That's all I need to know. I definitely don't want anything in my head that's going to detract. But anyhow, so that's the focus right now. I'll just go back here and outline this. And in retrospect, I think one of the biggest mistakes I made was applying the same type of risk management to this tape, right? This tape is really volatile. The way I was moving super fast and super tactical on my entries and exits, I should have adopted that same mindset to that position, right? And so, yeah, that's one to learn on. Volatility works both ways. And while I love volatility, right? A lot of traders say that they love volatility and they really don't. Trading volatile markets, you have to have a skill for it. You have to be tactical. You have to know how to trade around your position. You have to be able to do quick on the fly math. And a lot of traders haven't learned that skill yet. It's not an unattainable skill. It's just one that needs to be developed. In slower markets, little mistakes are overlooked. In faster markets, little mistakes can be turned into big mistakes. Again, we just traded high up into 73.15 and faded. Live Action says, Manny, I got crushed last month on non-farm payroll. Huge beat, went long and with size and added, but the ES kept falling. Lost probably a month of revenue on that one. It's a sick feeling. Yeah, you know what? So never feels good, but it's only temporary. And just what I would suggest is just learn from it. Learn a lesson from it and apply that lesson. Whatever your lesson was from that, I'm hoping you guys hear how I review my trade. I used to do this, what I'm doing verbally now, just in a written form. Okay, what did I learn from that? And then that should be your focus for the next few sessions. Or for you, Live Action, that should be your focus on the next high volatility news event that you're trading. It's like, okay, so that was on non-farm payroll. Say you're trading CPI or something of that nature, right? All right, so then apply that lesson to that environment. if you start to build up those lessons, right? Because there are so many different types of environments, like we were just talking about, how to the difference between trading a volatile market versus trading a not a highly volatile market, right? Because there are so many different contexts that we need to be aware of as traders, right? The lessons can get lost in the day-to-day, in lost when with the context shifting, right? So right now we have a highly volatile market. We need to have a form or a system for remembering the lessons for that market, right? We need to have lessons that are tailored to downtrends. We need to have lessons tailored towards uptrends. We need to have lessons tailored towards, all different types of events. Like, so for instance, one of the things, one that's easy to remember is having a lesson like for trading OPEX, trading CPI, trading non-farm. Having a target list for where you want to improve when you're trading the first hour of the day or the last hour of the day. Just and jot those down and work on them. Make that your focus. Those are a lot of the things that we cover, that we go through, because there's this weird assumption that we're going to be born with these skills. That no, it's just if you develop good systems for learning, then skill is not something that you're magically born with. It's something that you develop over time. But you have to have a system for targeting those lessons and how to apply them. And then it's up to you, once you organize them, then it's up to you to apply them, to execute them and to do the hard work of learning them. The organization part, a lot of people can help you with, but the application of the lesson is something that you need to do yourself. We're right back down here again, and we keep stabbing down and stabbing up, but not anything in the form of direction. And we're now, what? An hour and 15 minutes into the day. Let's see. Take a look at chart. PTG, I'm looking for a low at 11:15. If the setup is not there, I don't act. Good approach. Solid approach. Thanks, JT. So your time window is different than Manny's. Day 2 of the cycle has a 3-point. I had trouble reading the lean, so I realized that the 0.3 splits at least as often as it prints on time. If there is a gap, then a split is to be expected. If the first CIT comes early by a certain amount of time, the retest comes late by a certain amount of time. There's always the ponies. That's right. You can always go do that, right? I think you might get a free drink there. So, I mean, look how much trouble, we could have gotten into if we would have tried to trade in this area. See if we get that flush and reclaim. But it doesn't look like, I mean, you look, point is that I was looking for some squeezing action above 73.30. That's the continuation long. It didn't happen. So I have to start switching my thinking. Okay, 73.35. All right, 73.03 didn't hold. 72.53 is my next area where I can act. Makes it pretty simple for me. Simple but not easy. So live action, back to your really bad day, just to go over that again, because I think that there's something to be learned from that, is that, going back to that, make sure that, I think that the best traders are probably, being judged by how they end bad days, right? What do they take away from it? What do they learn from it? And how do they make sure that with each occurrence, the probability for that bad day to happen is less? And so to think that it's never going to, frequently there's this narrative of, so I'm never going to trade OPEX again, or I'm never going to trade news event again. I'm never going to trade CPI again. And that's why, in my opinion, so many of us fail initially, because we come out with these linear rules, black or white. And the market is a place that is anything but. Rules need to be learned in a systematic fashion, with the and be able to allow yourself the leeway to deal within that ambiguity. So linear rules create this mindset that, hey, I'm never going to trade OPEX again. And then you trade it, and then you feel, and then it creates this negative mindset towards you breaking your rules. So how we approach our forming our discipline and developing our system, and how we want to behave within the market, that needs to be rethought. And the way we rethink that is not in such a linear fashion, not in a black or white way. We allow ourselves room to be creative with our setups, to be creative with our interpretation of the market, operating within a construct of discipline, but also having that ability to learn to apply that creativity we see without a linear set of rules. So in one regard, having hard rules, there should be a baseline of, I call them guidelines. You have guidelines for how I want to behave. So I don't want to, if I take an outsized loss like I did this morning, I don't really want to get into another trade again, because, what if the next trade just happens to be the outcome of an edge that didn't work? Is that going to compound the prior one, and then I'm going to fall into that mindset? So I tend to slow down, and then applying whatever you learned within that, taking the lessons that you learn and learning them, giving yourself the leeway to learn them in a healthy fashion. So, allowing yourself some leeway to learn, learning, giving yourself not too much to chew off from one occurrence. So to just pick one or two things you want to get good at that are applicable today. And you might have, let's just frame it this way. Say you have 5 different day types, 5 different rule sets that you're trying to learn. And within those 5 different rule sets, there could be, 3 different markets. So now you have 15 different outcomes. Take 1 or 2 rules for that configuration. And like, this is the only rule I'm going to focus on. So it could be like you say non-farm payroll. So, all right, so this is the lesson that I want to work on and learn during highly volatile news events. This is the primary lesson. And then the secondary lesson would be this. And then make sure that you apply that lesson, try to learn it as best you can. And then once that lesson becomes a part of you and a part of your structure and your discipline, then you can start looking at the next lesson. And then over time, like I turned around and I find myself thinking, thinking, okay, well, I'm behaving kind of, in a disciplined fashion, but it wasn't that I came out one day and said, oh, I'm disciplined. It was just trying to learn how to execute better and apply the lessons. There's this common thinking that, any red day is a bad day. There are red days that can be good days. Look at these cell programs, how active they've been. Yeah, they're selling. Coming into 11 o'clock. The internals have gone a little bit better. Let's take a look at the weighted AD and see if that gives us any insight. Oh, look at the weighted AD. It just went negative. It just went negative. We could be in another sell event here. Hey, you know what? Hang on. There was a specific level that if we got below it, it could be lights out. Man, this thing is getting really, really slippery down here, team. This thing is getting really slippery. Watch this slow down here. But I'll tell you, this could just be a resumption of what we've been seeing the last 2-3 days. Maybe they're just not done. But lately we have seen this thing where they like to sell it off early and then reclaim it, then squeeze them higher. I don't know. We're below that 7,300. It's looking pretty bearish at currently. Okay, let's watch this. Okay, we got that little spike low and then we came back and reclaimed it. Nope. Look at that. Again, they're just pounding them. Those 70, they're just 72, 75s. And then they were trying to buy them all up the way up to 72, 76. And then they just king pounded them at 72, 74 quarter. And now they're hitting them 72, 70, 72, 69, 72, 68. And they're buyers on the other side of it, but they're absorbing everything the buyers are buying and they're just pounding them. Look, they're coming in on the 69, 68s, and you're just hitting them nonstop. It doesn't matter who's on the other side of it. It doesn't matter who's buying it right now because they're just taking everything they're buying and they're selling over and over again. So buyers are buying into refreshing bids, buyers are buying into refreshing offers, and then on the opposite side of the ladder, it's just market sells. So that's the thing about it. That's twice as much selling. So whatever's hitting the bid at market is moving it. And then when buyers are trying to lift offers on the other side, they're just refreshing those and selling them more. I don't know for how long this continues. Okay, looks like they're trying to recover it here. So that type of price action that I was just highlighting, it subsided and it just flips onto the other side. And what I was noticing was that type of price, it was, now it's on the other side, it flips just as fast. So you never know what maybe the game was to push it down, because they were pushing it down so aggressively there. And then to get it to a certain point and buy it up, I'm not sure, but it subsided and they wicked. Price, you can see it here in the chart, price wicked, and now we're moving higher. So definitely pick your spots wisely, because that sell pressure was pretty serious. It's very hard to tell where it ends. We're still, and here's another thing to be mindful of. We are still completely within the overnight range. We have not traded the overnight high nor the overnight low. So all of this movement in the regular trading hours is all being 100% contained within the overnight range. So really not a change in value from when we opened yesterday at 6 p.m. It's really all the same. Let's see if they capture it here. If this comes in and forms our late AM low, and if that was just a push lower to trap some late bears, but you know we're below all supports. We couldn't get over the overnight high. We couldn't even fail to touch it. I'm sorry. We couldn't even trade it. Price failed to even trade the overnight. The overnight high. I wish I had a level here. I wish I did. I like these. I like this wick. I like the way they flipped. Maybe I grab some micros. All right, I'm gonna grab one here. Just grab one 77. Oh, nope. Look at that. They just came right back in. Whoa. Oh my God. Is that news? Is the news out? I'm probing here long. 72, 77, 75. $72, 77, 75. Oh yeah, look, it's here. It's all right. It's, you guys can see it. It's on the upper right hand chart. All right. 72, 77, 75. I'm looking. Oh, let's see. 77, 87. Hang on. This thing is moving fast. Is this a news pop into a sell? Ultimate target is 97, 75, 98. Right back up there, right below VWAP. Protecting a little bit. Wanted to give it some space. I don't like easy. I don't like tight stops at all. I probably should have had a tight stop in that earlier trade. All right, plus 6.5 on one. Stop break even on the other. $11.10 here. Come on, let's see if we get some extension higher. Did we get our squeeze event today? Always love a good squeeze. All right, I'm trading around this position. As you can see, I took, I think I got, I forget how much I got on the first one. Just 6 or 8 points. So I got +8 on the first and moved to break even. Then I added that contract back on that little dip to that 5-minute high. And I'm willing just to shut this out. Ooh, little poppage. Little pop in the tape here. Let me get a look at what this chart is looking like. There's a look here. Okay. Looks nice. Looks like we're moving higher here. See if we can get some extension higher. I'm going to go ahead and extend this out to 73.02. 97, it would have been 20. So that would be a 25-point gain on that contract. One of the things that I prefer to do is to separate outcome and process, right? So have the process and separate the two. One you can control, one you can't. Yeah, me too, me JT. So just a slight difference there, in that I'll take counter trends, but I'm way quicker on the exits on those. I don't like to stick around. And it's a fear of losing the better trade, being in the wrong trade. And it happens to me constantly. I'll be in, I'll lose the better long for being in a scalp short. It infuriates me. But all it required was a little patience, and then I would have been in the right move. We've got VWAP. The regular trading hours VWAP is up at 73.0150. Yeah, we're stalling out here. All right, looks like we're moving higher. I'm still offered at 73.0250 for 25 points. We'll see if I can get it. Coming into it now. Boom, got it. Awesome. 73.0350 is filled, plus 25 points. Yep, got it. Okay, so clawed back that loss from the shiner I took this morning. So yeah, technically not all of it though, right? Because I lost 5. I think I lost 5 on the first one. But I'm happy with the outcome. I'm happy with the read. At no point did I chase the short. And what me JT is talking about, and here's when I do the workshop, one of the things I'm going to go over is that one of the nuances of it, right? You don't look at this structure right here. When you're looking for a low, you know, and you have a triple bottom, that's not a low, that's a balance. All right. So applying it to within context of what the tape is doing, you can't, you know, again, it goes back to the earlier statement that you can't trade anything linearly. You have to use all the tools available to you, and then apply those tools to what the market is doing. The biggest mistake I made early in my career was looking at trading looking at anything in absolute terms. I thought that I was always looking for something that was black or white that I can sink my teeth into. Like, okay, I know if this happens, that happens. And you know, 20 years later, I'm still searching for it. It just doesn't happen. But it's when you blend those tools that you start to understand that you don't need one or another tool to be linear, black or white. You can because that will never exist. What you can do is apply your tools and then take trades at good locations with adequate risk. All right, I'm out of that trade for break even on the last. But I got the 20 points off. I might get back in again. I like this area. I like this area for the wait, what did we just hit though? We just hit 7,300. And sold off. Okay. No. I like it. Let's see. What am I looking for? Let's see. 72.82, 72.83.50. Let's see. Oh man, I got shaken out. I still like it. I'm just gonna have to pivot. Pivot the approach. Let's see. Come on. Okay, got him. Got it with the ATA in at 72.89.75. I got one off of +3. Okay. Looking for 99 on the second for 10. So I got +3 on the first. Looking for 99 on the second for 10. And then I'm looking for a breakout on the last. I'm looking for a tag of the overnight high on the last. Tag of the overnight high. I'm looking for 73.39 on the last one. All right, it's got the 10-point target at 72.99. Got the +3, then got the 10 on the second one. Oh yeah, let's go, baby. Let's go. Okay. All right. So we're cooking here. Let's see if we can get the 73.39 on the last. Okay. Oh God. What? Oh, all right. So it took 73.04 from 72.09 on the last one. Early exit. I'm so got 73.89. What was that last exit? 03. We got 15 points. So I got +3, +10, and +15. Let's go. I'm loading up again. I'm loading up again. Let's see what I can get. So now I'm not going to trade that one again. I'm pulling that one out. Okay. That's done. I'm done in that one. What I will do is switch this one. I've got to trade those Pitbull accounts too. All right. Let me just see what I want to do here. So that trade netted +8, +25, then break even. Then I got +3, +10, +15. It's a great tape. Let me know how you guys are trading it. Would love to bring the register. It's my new favorite tool. It's my new favorite toy. All right, I'm thinking I'm gonna trigger here soon. Let's see. I'll let you know if I do it. Let's see. Oh, look at that. Yep, give me that delta. Let's go. 11:25 on the clock. $72.93.75. Okay. I'm nibbling some here. Let's see. Hang on, I haven't done anything yet. Thanks, David. Yep. I didn't even know that was a discount. Look at that. That was awesome. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Pretty cool when both systems align like that. Yeah. See if we can get another one. Why not? But I'm stalking here, guys, because I'm looking for the overnight high. I'm looking for the overnight high. So I nibbled some micros at 02s, 0250s. Very small position. It's funny. I'm out of those at 03. I'll wait, not yet. I'll let you know. If we get back below 96, I'm gonna dump them off. Yep, I'll reload. I'll reload from a better position. Thought we were gonna extend higher. It's only 4 micros, so it's nothing serious. I just wanted to be a part if it was gonna go, and I took them off. So 02, I lost 7 points on those 2 micros. I just took it off. I'd rather just reload later. I thought we were going to extend higher. And this could just be a lower high. I wanted to see that thrusty move higher. I wanted to see that extension above this high to kind of squeeze out any ideas of a lower high, and that didn't happen. So I gotten in. If it was going to happen, it needed to happen above the developing VPOC. So yeah, took the risk, paid the price, but I didn't want it. That's not a mini trade, right? I don't want to. Oh wait, this might be the better entry here. Nah, I'll be over trading. Plus, we have the threat of the lower high. When I'm trying to catch those like extension moves higher, I don't mind paying up. It's like paying for information. It's paying for confirmation. I'd rather get not the best fill, but have a little bit more, have proof of life. I'm almost done here. So now what I would want to see if I was long, I would want to see I don't want to see price get below that developing value area low 72.36. Because I want to see that forcing action higher. And because if not, we're looking at that lower high potential. Yeah, look at that. Look at that. Nope. Yeah, definitely don't want to do anything in here right now. Nope. 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 Glad I took those off at 90s, 95s. Okay. Wait a minute. This is the move I want, though. Let's go. Let's go. I'm back in the micros again at 93.25. I'm risking that. Yeah, look, I have to risk like 10 points on them. I'm wrong below 83. See if we can get up. Yeah, coming back in. Look at this. Yeah, you don't want to see that. That's what you don't want to see. Looking for I've got the micros average is 93. But I want to see these go fast. I don't want to get I don't want to see them even get below 90s now. Because if I'm in at 93, if it goes down below 90, I'll just close them because that's a nothing loss. That's just the cost of doing business. Keep getting these like breaks in the data. And for that move higher now, let's see if we can tag the overnight high. I should have just went in with the micros at this position, right? Hey team, quick bathroom break. Be right back. All right, guys, I'm back. All right, moving up here, moving up nicely, getting some follow through on it. 16 points. 16 points, looking for a little bit higher. Let's go. One third off at 15 points, so plus 15 points on a third. Plus 15 points on a third. We had to move this here. Locking in 5 at break even in case we flush lower. Again, just staying really flexible about the position. Trying to stay locked into the tape. I'm getting a funny feeling that this day is just not gonna cooperate. It's just not going to cooperate. But you know what? We're gonna stick to the process. We're gonna stay positive. Have a mindset of abundance. Trying to open up these vitamins. $11.42. I'm going to finish out this trade, and then I'm going to have to call it. I got some other responsibilities to tend to. +7 on 5. +7 points on 5. Rest are locked in and break even. Look at that pullback. No, this might be something else. Yeah. Let's see. Let's see if they hold. I'm willing to hold these to break even. This is actually plus 1 point from entry. So if that stop hits, it'll be +1. So we're grinding higher. Looking to add a few back if I can. No go. All right, stopped out at break even on the rest. +1 on the balance. What is my tick doing? I might add them back here. Hang on. There we go. Yeah, we got a lower high again. Lower high again, brewing. Nope. Let's see. All right, I am back at 9. Let me see. Dang it. Yep, Adam back at 97s. 97th quarter. 97. Oh shit. Let me lower this. '97 quarter, so looking for 10 at 07. 07 at 07. 97.75, looking for 07.75. Staying super flexible with these. Flush those out. I'll add them back if I need to. All right, that's gonna. I just took those off at break even. I had 97.75. I just took them off. Failed to extend higher. Yeah, I think what we have here is a lower high brewing. Still want to move higher. Let's just see where we could try it from. Yeah, you see, look, it just got that lower high look. I wanted to see that thrust higher, and it didn't materialize. You know, I thought we could move up here and then maybe come back down into here and test. Something like, I thought on this move we could come in and then come back in here and then move higher, but instead we moved up, wicked, and now we're doing that. Came here, pulled back, moved higher, and then now we're coming back down. Choppy. We still haven't even tagged the overnight high. I'm still interested in that trade. And the timing is right, but we're getting close to where we might get rejected into the 12 o'clock hour. So I don't know. It's, you know, can we extend higher up here, you know, within the next hour? Yeah. But we had the shot already and they didn't take it. So I'd rather just stay sidelined. Had clawed back a lot of the clawed back all the loss and made some, and so I'd rather just wait for the afternoon to try to see if we can add something real. The one thing for sure is that, what do we have? What's our range? Our range has been, geez, can that be right? 72 points. Yeah, with 72 points, you know, you just have to sit tight. Something will materialize. Let me see. What is this? Is this a lower edge? Yeah, it is. 72.92. You really only have to risk 3 down here. See if we can get some favorable. Nope. There you go. Right back below. Yep. Now they're going to come down here and sweep these guys down at 86s. So seven minutes team, and then we're shutting it down at noon today. Quick programming note too, starting next week, I'm going to be on from 9 to noon. And then we are going to have a transition into our noon show so that there will be no gaps. Yeah, they're going to come down for those 86s now. And that lower high, hey, this thing could flush. I mean, oh, is it? Oh, yeah, that's right. It's Juneteenth. That's right, correct. So June 19th, we're going to be doing a workshop. Look out for more information on that. Hey, this thing is, you know, the inability for SPX to reclaim 7,300, the cash market is significant. I think you can see why when we looked at this, right? Inability to reclaim that means that all of these put buyers. So this is why you have to be really careful here. And the explosive trade may be to the short side, because so what I want to explain is that because, let's see, how do I phrase this? So the idea was we would squeeze because of all these puts, right? But that's not happening. Instead, what's going to happen now, that 7,300 area was unable. They were unable. We just saw the lower high. We just put in the lower high. So let me just frame this out before I leave. So we had lower high. Oh, it should be another good trade in the upstairs. Lower high, lower high, lower high, right? So the inability to squeeze these guys out. So what we were looking for, what I was looking for was a squeeze of all of this, right? A squeeze of this level and then move higher above that 73.05 area. And it still could happen. I think that's probably more likely than not. But conversely, on the other side of that is, if that doesn't happen, then market makers, they're going to be forced to go with this move. And if we break this thing, if we break lower, if that does happen, because we couldn't squeeze these put holders out above 7,300 to 7,330, what should happen, I mean, could be wrong, but what my read would be that we instead, and I'm still willing to try the long argument, but if that fails, right, I don't have to chase it from up here. I'd rather trade it long from up here, and this is why. Because if that fails, I'm going to try some micros in here, just a handful. So if that move fails, right, where they can't squeeze all those deltas out, I'm long a couple of micros at 75, 95, 98. Decided two more, and I'm risking 5 or 6 points on it. Well, look, team, if we don't squeeze higher, if we don't squeeze those put holders out by going something like this and getting up here and then moving higher, then what should happen is we're going to break down below settlement. We're going to zip up, and then even more importantly, and I think that's in hindsight, that's the more frothy trade, is that let me redraw this. So if we can't get up here, if we can't scoot up, convert this and squeeze those put holders out above here, we should get a pullback in here to higher, to value area high. If that doesn't materialize, then we're going to break, and then we're going to trade this short, because this short 72.80, we could be at 7,200 by the afternoon. There is nothing down here, like, and look at where if I'm looking, based upon what I know, what I've seen happen before, is that if that move fails to materialize higher and they're unable to get those guys that inventory out of the book, yeah, we could trade down to here, 71.80, which is 7,200 on ES. So stick around, because this could get exciting today. Either way, the squeeze on the upside could be exciting, and the squeeze on the downside could be exciting. Let's stay patient, let's stay focused. I'm going to be sticking around here. It's noon. Hey, Manny from Pitbull Traders, thank you for checking in today. We're going to wrap it up right now at noon, but we're sticking around. I'm going to stick around. Come join us in the pit. I'm going to be in there, and think that this afternoon trade could get pretty exciting in either direction. If we brought any value to your trading today, please just do me a favor, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. We're going to be on again tomorrow from 9 to noon. Next week, big programming note, just starting to flex the lungs and the attention span to carry us into noon. But we're looking to expand the show from 9 a.m. to noon. And from 9 a.m., I'll be on from 9 a.m. to noon with another awesome lineup of guests. I'm lining those up right now. And then we will have markets and mindset with Danny on 2 days from noon to 1 o'clock. And then we will have 2 other speakers, but likely Bo and someone else, going from noon to 1. So stick around for that. More to come on that soon. Okay. I am in that long trade. I grabbed those 98s that I told you about. I'm in at, my average is, I have 95 and 98, so I'm average at 98. Okay, I'm ultimately looking for up there, but I'm going to take my scales along the way. So let me just get these in. WASDW, seconds away. What does that mean? Live action, what does that mean? $98 quarter. I need $808 quarter. Oh. Looking for that extension higher here. Come on, let's go. What is WASDW? Yep. I don't know why I didn't switch out to the micro. I have no reason being in these minis at this volume. I should have just bought 2 micros. I mean 2 minis. Another lower high. I'll close this in a second. If it doesn't work, I'll close it in a second. Come on, push up. Yeah. Well, agricultural supply demand report, key report. Oh, okay. So your long wheat. Got it. Hey, Lauren's going to be back with us here. She just took some time off to be with her kids during the summer, but she trades the ags. She knows tons about that. So you should stick around for that live action. She trades the ags all the time. She's really well versed in that, especially with some really creative option strategies. All right, team, that's going to call it for me for today. I'm closing out. I'm going to end today. I have to go grab a bite.